Okay, let's look at this practice problem. We have a man wanting to move a 45-kilogram wooden crate across a wooden floor. How much force does he need to apply to start the box moving? This means if we want to start it moving, that we are being asked to find the force of static friction. And we know our mass, which means we know that our normal force in this horizontal situation is 45 times 9.8. So it's 441 newtons. But we don't yet know our coefficient of static friction. But I'm reminding you of the hint. You can use the table in your notes for the coefficient of friction. Before you look at that table, you have to know two things. One, if you're talking about static or kinetic. And remember, if you're talking about just starting it moving, you're talking about just starting it moving, you're talking about overcoming that static force that holds it still. And we said a wooden crate on a wooden floor. So if we look at our notes, we can see right here, wood on wood, the static is 0.50. You'll notice that the kinetic friction is always less, or the coefficient of kinetic friction is always less. And if you think about it, you know that's true. If you're moving something, that first push always takes more force than to keep it moving. And this is why, because the coefficient is less. So we know it's 0.50. So now we can calculate this relatively easily. .5 times 441. And we know that we should be rounding this to have two significant figures. This number has two significant figures, this one does, and so does the 9.8 we used. So we're going to round our answer to 220 newtons. The force So we're going to round this to 220 newtons is the force that the man has to use to move the crate.